Welcome
Record.
to YouTube interviews, the effects of the Corvid-19 virus on the arts and beyond. My name is Brian Murphy, and today we have a special guest. She is a freelancer also, but she dances with the Metropolitan Opera. Michelle Joy, how you doing?
I'm good. Hi, Brian. I'm right here in the epicenter of COVID-19.
You are. So how are you faring out in the middle of the epicenter right now?
You know, it's strange. Like, if you don't turn the news on, you would not know you're in the epicenter. But then you turn the news on, you're like, oh my God, I'm in New York City right in the middle of it all. Because, you know, from my apartment, I don't see the morgues and I don't see the hospitals and I don't see that. And you go to Central Park and it's like any Saturday in the park. It's crazy.
Are people out there walking around like any other day?
People are, because people have to escape their apartment. They're using like social distancing, but it's like an awkward 6th grade dance, but like everyone's at the park.
Got it. So Michelle, you know, you've been dancing how long with Metropolitan Opera? How many years?
Oh wow, 12.
So you had a season this year, obviously, and you just signed a contract, like a year contract or something like that. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Well, the season's coming to an end, so the last show would be like May. So we were almost done. We had like 6 weeks left.
And what were you doing before all this happened?
Well, in addition to the Met, I was doing a new show, American in Paris. Well, it's not new, but I was doing it for a regional theater in New Jersey. And I was dancing the lead, Lise, and it was supposed to open in like 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
We did 4 weeks of rehearsals, and then it just got like shut down, which sucks.
That must have really been difficult.
Yeah, it sucked. We did so much rehearsal. I was really excited about it. Like I was doing the leading role. Like my partner was amazing. All the dancers were so good. But hopefully they said maybe they'll bring it back next year, but who knows?
I mean, how do you, I mean, being a dancer, knowing that we're in close proximity with each other all the time, how do you see this being something that we're going to be comfortable doing that after we call the apex is over?
Right. No, I have to say, in New York, now, when the virus first started coming out, like, I believe it's been circulating in New York City since January. Like, I think it's been here for a while. And even, like, before de Blasio started shutting the city down, like I was like anxious for it to shut because we knew it was here. There was like 1,000 cases, 2,000 cases. And I'm like, why are we still in rehearsal? Like, why is the Met holding an open audition next week for 2,000 people? Like, this has to stop. So when things eventually got shut down, I was like a little bit relieved. And also Steps, like I took class at Steps a week before everything got shut down and it was packed. There were 75 people in Bielski's class. Like I even saw Willie Berman and I was thinking to my mind, why is he here? Which, you know, Willie Berman died of the virus last week. It's pretty sad. He would have been 81, so he was older, but still sad.
It's still very sad. So I think that
I went on a tangent.
No, but Michelle, listen, here's the question I have for you, because I'm curious because you are in the epicenter and you're right. I look at the news. When I turn it off, I kind of forget. It's a really strange sensation.
Right. It's weird.
I'm talking about once this apex is over, whenever that happens, how do you see dancers working together again? Do you think we'll go back to the way it was?
I think dancers will. I think that we'll go back to class. I think that we'll be eager to be back in rehearsal. Like, you know, the intimacy of rehearsal. I don't know, like, I'm sure dancers will want that back, but I don't think the audience will be there, which is my fear. Like, I think we'll be ready to go, but I don't think the theaters will be ready to go. Like look at Broadway. Like, do you think, like, what tourist is coming to New York City in the next year? Like, I'm going to book a family vacation to New York City. Like, that is not happening.
It will be a decision you have to make. Yes, right? You're not going to see a lot of people there. That's true.
Right. Like, I fear for the audience base, you know. There will be no audience. Like, who's coming? Nobody. Like, we have a 3,000 seat theater at the Met, and most of it is tourists from the outside. Who is flying into New York to see opera next year? Even September, like, nobody. You'd have to be crazy.
You have to be Michelle, that's a really good point. And I think we forget we're going through this now, but let's say let's say the Met calls you up, oh, we can do this now. Well, first of all, most of us are out of shape. You haven't been dancing for 2 months. You're taking classes.
We try. We're taking class in our kitchen.
Yeah. right. So you take class in your kitchen. Okay, now let's go ahead and do a show in 2 weeks. I mean, you could do it, but it's going to be interesting then, and then asking people to come to see it. Or it's still fresh in their mind.
I mean, I'm sure we could do it. Like, Brian, you and I could do Nutcracker Paw like tomorrow. I'm sure we could do it.
We could. If I showed up in your doorstep right now, or we could do the Grandpa probably right now if we really, really wanted to.
We probably could. It would be a decent show.
It would be a decent show. That's very true. So our muscle memory is pretty strong.
Right.
So Michelle, how many? You have Lucy, right? Lucy.
Yeah, she's 3.5. She's almost 3.5.
Has this affected how you think of the future with her?
Yeah, it's weird, even as a parent, because we both work. My husband and I work. Here she comes, actually. So I'm not used to having her at home. I've always had a nanny. I've always had her. Now she's in like full-time preschool. She's right here.
Lucy, hi, Lucy.
So now I'm like a full-time parent, which it sounds weird, but I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
We've been used to having help, and we both work. So now she's home.
So has this been? I mean, if you think about it, you're home more. It could actually be a good thing. This relationship.
They say it's good for like 3-year-olds, like to be home. Lucy, don't turn that on. She's turning on a music player. So they say. So this is I'm actually in her room right now because I wanted some like. This is Lucy's room.
That's nice. It's actually kind of big. It's actually kind of big, Michelle.
For New York, she's lucky. She has an ensuite bathroom, which I never had till like 3 months ago.
Okay. And there you are. So we're in a very good place. But it's nice.
Lucy, go show me your trampoline. So I'll tell you how we're dealing with this. We just bought a giant trampoline for inside our living room.
Are you jumping on it?
Unfortunately, there's a weight limit. I think I could, but I don't want. I don't want to break it.
Oh my gosh!
So this is how we're dealing with it. She's gonna show you what she's doing now, because I just don't know what to do with her. Like, she's used to getting so much exercise, and now I'm like scared to bring her outside.
Yeah.
So now she's
nice. There goes Lucy. I love that. It's pretty cute.
Right. So she jumps all day, which is great because she gets her exercise, and she's kind of contained in this little thing.
So Michelle, again, as you're walking, go ahead and keep showing. This is kind of cool. As you're walking around.
This is our house. We actually have a view, as you guys can see. This is a view of Lincoln Center, right there.
There's nobody there. There's nobody out there.
It's empty. There's usually shows going on. So that's Lincoln Center. This is down Columbus, and there's Broadway. It's kind of the intersection of Columbus and Broadway.
Michelle, it's empty.
It's empty. And sadly now we only see is like ambulance, because there's a hospital here, Mount Sinai West, and then the crosstown is, east side is there. So we see the crosstown traffic going over to like Lenox Hill, and so it's sad.
It's sad, Michelle. It's weird, isn't it? It's going to be, I think that, being home and being a dancer is hard, and I think there's going to be a challenge. You're going to be challenged a little bit when we get back, Michelle. Now
there's going to be, like I said, no audience. So there's going to be no money, no audience. And I don't know, I fear for the arts. Yeah,
I do too. But though, I want to tell you, the way we've been responding to this, Michelle, is that we have there's a lot of hope. And I think that people, as much as we're scared, we still are doing it. We're still being creative.
Right.
We're still taking class, and we're still communicating with people. It's a different way. It doesn't mean it has to be all bad.
Right.
So. Yeah,
we're connecting in different ways, which is interesting. I mean, I think. Don't you think we'll be all eager to get back as soon as we can?
Yes.
Right. I mean, I'm not going to be like lock myself in my apartment. The crazy thing is, like, this is really weird, Brian. Bernard and I think that we actually got the virus back in January. I think I've already had it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, I mean, not knowing it was even in New York, because it wasn't in New York at the time, but we actually moved to this apartment. I'll tell you the story. We moved to this apartment the last week of January, And right after we moved, like I was kind of like feeling I got a cold. I wasn't sick. I kept going to work. So did Bernard. We were like, I just had a cold, and then we were coughing, and even Lucy was coughing, and I blamed it on the air vents, these vents, and I made the super come and clean out all our air vents. Like, because I was like, oh yeah, they're probably filled with dust. Like that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And he cleaned them all out, and then like we were totally fine. Like I don't know if that was it, but I'm excited. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting that antibody test when it comes out, because I want to know if I've had it. We kind of think like that we already had it. I don't know.
You know, Michelle, this is actually a really good conversation. I'm glad we had this. And if you know people around the world will be watching this, Michelle,
right?
What are you gonna say? What can you say to them? Being in the epicenter right now in New York, and knowing that you're going to be back dancing. What you know, tons of people are going to be around you again.
Right.
How are you going to deal with that? Talk to me about how that you're going to approach that. You know,
I do have to say I think I will be reluctant to get on the subway for a few months, because I would be scared of that. And I think people are still going to be doing that awkward dance.
Yeah. Yes.
But I think people, I don't know. I think I honestly think in the future people are going to start wearing more masks. And people are going to be more aware of their hygiene. People are finally washing their hands for the first time in decades. Like,
yeah, we're going to be aware of our hygiene. You know what, Michelle?
Like, I think we'll be more aware. Like,
so
how many people, like, why did everyone just start washing their hands like 3 weeks ago? Like,
good. You know what? We're going to finish on that note, but that's a good point. You know what? We're going to be cleaner than ever. We just put it that way.
Like, I think we're going to be more aware. And even like mask wearing, I think that you're going to realize, look, like you wear a mask to protect people around you, not to protect yourself. And that's the biggest thing.
You know, Michelle, this was great. It was really nice to connect with you. I really liked it. So please keep it. You know what? I want to connect again in a couple, through this venue in a few months. I want to do it again, because I'd be curious what you're, being cooped up in your apartment for 3 months, how's that going to affect you?
Yes. Call me in 3 weeks.
Okay, I'll call you in 3 weeks. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you very much.
See you soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye, Brian.